So example 3 is a bit of working backwards. They're saying they've got a function h of x that's 4 plus 5x plus 2x cubed, and you need to figure out 4 different functions so that h of x was all of them added together. Okay? So one example, and there's more than one right answer. Can you see that if you made f of x 4, then g of x, the 5x, n of x, the 2x cubed, what would we have to make m of x to make it work? Because we want to add them together. Because it doesn't make sense that it's 4 plus 5x plus, I get a 4 plus 5x plus 2x cubed. What could I make m of x? 0. Perfect. That's one example. Now, the reason that these aren't necessarily good questions, could you see that you could have made f of x the whole thing that you wanted? 4 plus 5x plus 2x cubed. What would all the other ones be then? 0. Right? Could they mark you wrong in this question? No. This is perfectly fine. And this is why these questions, up until last year, every single year I said, well, these are so silly that they'll never ask them on the exam. But they did. So you can give, I don't know if you want to call the second one a cheating method. You can make one exactly the same as what you want and make all the other ones 0, and you're perfectly fine. Can you see that you could do the same thing for part B? You want to make it subtracting. Well, make the first one the same and make the second one 0. Of course, you could be really complicated if you wanted to, right? If you're feeling a little bit vengeful, you could come up with the most complicated expression possible and make me check it. Because I have to check if it works. So if you want to use really crazy numbers, you could. The problem with using really crazy numbers is you have a better chance of making a mistake. So if you still make a mistake, I have to take off the marks, right? And if you make it so crazy, there's a chance that I could make a mistake while doing it. And even if you're right and I make a mistake while doing it, then I'd mark you wrong. That would be really bad. But then you could argue it afterwards. So in this case, it probably makes the most sense, right, in B. Like, oh, I'll make f of x the same thing. And make g of x equal to 0. Or you can make f of x 3 or 5 plus 5x plus 2x cubed. And then you'd have to subtract 1. And it would work. So there's lots of different answers. So this is why question 3 is really short. I will give you question 7 for practice.